Sitting comfortably, breathing in through the nose and out the mouth. Just imagining that cool, crisp autumn air, breathing in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth, maybe seeing a little bit of steam from our breath. And noticing anywhere on your body that might be talking to you today, and just making a mental note of that. Notice the breath, the cadence of your breath as you inhale fully and fill the belly. Feel the expansion of the belly and the diaphragm as you inhale. And then perhaps just a little bit longer exhale as the belly deflates, releasing all that air out. Continue to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth while we do our wake up, finding our collarbones and just moving down an inch, that little divot there, either side of the collarbones. It's on button for the body, like our battery pack, charging it right here, getting the energies moving forward. One of the directions energy wants to move. So this just kind of wakes up our entire meridian system. Number of meridians connect to each one of the major organs. So think of it as waking up your organs for the day, shaking off the fingers, tapping the thymus, stimulating our T cells, our immune system. And again, shaking it out. Side seams, spleen points. Just moving any stuck energy, keeping things humming here, metabolizing and digestion of our food, thoughts, and experiences. Spleen points, shake that off, come to your cheekbones now. And tap lightly here, grounding, associated with the stomach and the earth element. Shaking that out, and then just pausing for a couple breaths, integrating the four thumps. And then we'll begin our homolateral, or same side, seated. Slap on the top of the legs, dust it off, cross it over. Two or three times as many of these crossover patterns as we did the same side, or homolateral. Then shake that off. Pause here, set your intention. Hover over the pubic bone, and we're just going to zip up the front of the body, sealing in our energies, protecting our own energy fields. Breathe, draw up, think of your intention, and one more time, we'll zip that up. And then we'll do a hookup. And then shake out the hands, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Either continuing with that breath in the nose, out the mouth, or just finding your own in the nose, out the nose breath. To roll our shoulders, look side to side, notice any kinks in the neck, and just do an overall general body assessment here. Let's go into a gentle stretch here, or gentle twist. To one side, sit up tall and breathe. And switch to the other side. Come back to center. Slide a hand out to the side and reach. Come into a lateral stretch, finding length, breathing here. Taking that to the other side, slide the hand out and reach. And again, side one. And side two. Now waking up the body. We'll do one more of these to either side. And then come back center, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Let's extend our legs out, point and flex through the toes. Notice how that feels on your legs today. And then kind of gently draw the toes in toward our shins. Let's weave the arms, softening knees as we need to come into our first forward fold. Make that attachment somewhere between the knees and the ankles. Notice where we are. This is just our first forward fold. Slowly inhale, come up. We're going to go ahead and clear the neurolymphatics of our large and small intestine. So just taking that flat part between the first joint of the finger and the knuckle, pressing for, if we have loose stools, we're going to start just above the knee and move up to kind of work that out. And if we have a tendency toward constipation, we're going to move from the leg pit just down on either side to the top of the knee. And if you have no issues whatsoever, then it just doesn't matter which way you go. But you want to press with a little bit of using some pressure, 4 to 5 passes each side. And you should feel this. Breathing all the while. Just kind of finding that inseam of your pants, whatever you're wearing, or just looking at that mid, inner, and outer seam of the leg. Shake that off. Bring the legs back. And let's weave once again and hinge. Maybe noticing if you came out just a little further. Inhaling, gazing forward. Exhaling, sinking in. And here you can weave or trace spleen meridian, flat hand, inside of the big toenail on the arch side. Trace along the arch behind the ankle bone, inseam of the leg. So inside and flare out. When we get to the torso, come along our sides, up, almost to the tops of the shoulders, back down and give those spleen points a buzz. Remember, tracing spleen helps keep the energies of that organ humming. So let's sit up and continue with our breath here just a little bit. Let's weave. We're going to do one more forward fold here. Hinging, leading with our navel, making that attachment. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale to sink in. Deep breathing here. And then to come up, either tracing spleen or weaving the arms, whatever feels right for you. Taking the legs just a little bit wider now. Again, softening knees just as much as we may need to. Once again, weave. You may find this just a little bit more forgiving. Walk the hands out, finding your edge, and just pause. Walk the hands over to one side. Open. Maybe reach toward the sky. Lift. Just kind of in that angle, even with the leg. And then reach. Still warming up. Slowly come back to your center point. Reach the arms out. Take a deep breath. Then walk the hands over to the other side as you're ready. Opening up here. Maybe just resting the hand on the ankle or perhaps placing the peace fingers in between big and second toe. Slowly coming back to center. Bringing the soles of the feet together in a loose cobbler's pose. Once again, as we sit up tall, hinge forward, kind of doing some gentle opening with the hips and the groins. Hinge forward. Breathe deeply here. Slowly come up. Now let's bring one leg and begin to cradle. Just moving that hip around in the socket. Noticing the work in the core, holding us upright. And let's either hold the outer uh, blade of that foot or use your strap. Extend the leg. The leg doesn't have to be fully extended. We can pendle here. This hand can be back to support. Or if you want a little bit more challenge, you can extend this hand back and open the leg. And then bring the hand toward the foot. Slowly open. Again, if you need more length, you can have that strap to hold on to the foot. And last time here, let's open, lift up tall, take a deep breath. and then release down. Turn the upper body over that lengthened leg, and we'll weave our way. Make an attachment here. Slowly coming back up. And we'll bend this leg in and take the other side. Begin to cradle and flexed foot, not sickling at the ankle, but just holding that straight in line and just cradling, loosening that area. Should feel good. Breathing all the while. And then when you're ready, lean the outer edge of that foot, extend the leg, perhaps tent the fingers, place the hand back for a little bit more support as you continue to pendle the leg, knowing you can use that strap. Or for more challenge, you can lift that arm up and then bring this in and open, in and open. And one more time. Slowly release down. Weave the arms overhead. We'll lead with our navel. Make the attachment. Notice this side compared to side one. See if feel very similar or if there's any difference, just making a mental note. And then slowly coming up. And let's extend the legs out and then bend them both. We're going to move to our all fours position. Going into our cat cow. Warming up through the core. And then finding your stillness in all fours. Let's just step one foot forward. If you have some blocks handy, you may want to have those by your side here. Just get it kind of situated in this low lunge. Right, lift up, perhaps placing the hands on top of the knee or just top of the leg. And if it feels right, we can draw the arms overhead, gazing forward, noticing the strength and the balance just in this low little lunge. And then place the inside hand down. Going to turn, reach, flat palm. Let's slowly circle. And then let's just take that forearm just above the knee. Rear toes are tucked. We'll lift that up, spin that rear heel to anchor down. I have my back to you for just a moment. Reach up and let this top arm just fall back into gravity, into that side angle pose. So we're not just collapsing into here, we're using core power, breathing. And then circle that top arm slowly, being mindful as we do. Circle the wrist, other direction, flick each finger, thumb, and then weave. Coming back down. Maybe hold on to your blocks as we just lengthen back through that lead leg, hinging forward. And the other direction. Maybe once more here. Stepping back and switch sides. So shifting forward and then placing the hands just above that opposite knee. If it feels right, go ahead and lift the arms up. Find that place, static, balance, strength. And then let's bring that inside hand down. Again, I'm going to have my back to you for a moment. Reach that top arm up, palm, and just slowly circle that. Allow that arm to fall back. Breathe. And then with the rear set of toes tucked, place that forearm just above the knee. Lift, spin that rear heel to anchor, finding your side angle to that other side. Just letting this top arm, again, fall back, opening through that pectoral. Deep breathing. And then think of that pizza dough or pizza crust on your hand as you're spinning that around. Stop and then circle the wrist, other direction. Flick each finger and thumb, whole hand, and we'll weave our way back down. Placing that knee down, we press forward and back. Once more. Stepping that front leg back. And maybe resetting in cat cow. Take the knees a little bit wider than hip width. We'll come back to child's pose for just a breath. Inhale to all fours. Tuck the toes. Coming into downward facing dog. And again, fours and child's pose. We're going to just flow here between those. Fours, downward facing dog. Fours, child's. Fours, where we'll just pause here, kick out that lower right leg, extend the left, coming into that kneeling side plank. You can also have a block. If you need to use fists for wrists or sore wrists, you can do that as long as the joints are stacked here. And let's flow from this side to side movement. That top arm down and reach. Long lines through the body. Finding that length of the sole of the foot out the crown of the head. Into gate. And this next time we come into our kneeling side plank. Let's come back down to all fours. And we'll take that to the other side. Out that lower left leg, opposite side. And then the same thing. Kneeling side plank. Into gate. One more time. So we'll come into our gate pose and return. Kneeling side plank. Coming down to all fours. Tucking the toes. Keeping those abdominals engaged as we draw the belly button in and up to lift into our downward facing dog. Pedaling the feet. And then walking the hands and feet toward each other. Hanging here for a few moments in your forward fold. Deep breaths. Tracing spleen meridian or weaving your way up, whichever feels right in your body today. Shaking that out. We come to standing. Bringing hands to heart center. Let's sit back in our chair. Moving into heaven, connecting earth. Just a very good technique for keeping our connection to the heavenlies as well as the earth. Side to side. Last one here. Bring our hands back to heart center. Reach overhead. Sweep the arms out wide and once again flow in chair as we sweep the arms forward. And then to Anjali Mudra. Wide open and forward. Just a different movement with the arms. And sitting back. Last one here. Sit back. Breathe. Lengthen up. Open the arms. Gentle back bend. Heaven rushing in. And just allow the arms to come to your sides. Roll the shoulders. And wiggling the toes. Let's practice our extended upward salute. We draw our arms overhead, wiggling the toes, making contact with the earth. Very slowly begin to lift the heels. To lift up and pause at the top. And then slowly come down as slowly as we can. Do that again. Inhale, lifting up the heels, reaching with the fingertips, noticing the work in our feet and ankles. And slowly come down. We have two more of those. Inhale, lift. And slowly release. And last one. Lift. And release. Shake out the hands, shake out the feet. And come to stand at the top of our mats. Notice how you're feeling as you stand here in this mountain pose. Step one leg back. Front knee is over the ankle. Let's draw the arms out, kind of a goalpost. Warrior one. And then reach them up. Reach toward the heavenlies. And then draw down on those heavenly handles, pulling with a little bit of resistance all the way down. And then releasing the handles, up. And once again, retrieving, pulling down. Notice the work in your core. Breath is flowing. Release here. Lengthen through the lead leg. Hinge to pyramid. Press back through the tailbone and lead out through the crown of the head. Just lengthen. Just imagine that length in the spine where you're creating space between each of the vertebrae. Taking one more deep breath and very slowly bringing ourselves up. Bring that rear foot in just a little bit. We still have a little bit of a wider than hip stance here. Let's bring our hands together and interlace the fingertips. Our shoulders back and down. So as we lift through our heart center, soften that lead knee and hinge down into a humble warrior. And leading with the crown. Deep breath. One more deep breath. Slowly release the hands. Slowly bring the head, neck, and chest up. Reach the arms overhead. Step forward. Palms up. Weave the arms to your forward fold. Slowly weave your way back up. Open to heaven rushing in. And then gather hands to heart center. Hands to our side. We'll do that on our second side. So as you gaze ahead, stepping back, front knee tracks over that ankle. Reach the arms overhead, grabbing those heavenly handles. And once again, drawing down, shoulder blades, scapula sliding alongside your spine as you come down. And then release. And once again, making contact, drawing downward. And release. And then slowly sweep the hands behind. You might even step in a little bit with that rear foot. Clasp the hands. Lift through the heart center. Soften front knee as we come into humble warrior. Slowly release. Doing this a little backwards. Let's reach the arms up. And now this time we'll come in to our pyramid. Thinking about lengthening from the bottom of the tailbone out from the crown of the head. Softening front knee, slowly weave our way back up. And let's turn to the side, taking star pose. Reaching out through the fingertips. Wiggle the toes. Notice the extremities, the connection to the earth, to the ether. Just imagine you're in between two panes of glass here. Come down to one side. You can kind of a triangle position here, just with straight legs. Breathe. And slowly come to the other side. And come back to that star. Soften knees a little bit. Now we're going to twist, and you may want your little block in front of you on either side. So from this star position, we'll twist and bring fingertips down. We just rest that palm there. Reach the other arm up and breathe. Slowly come back up. Find your stability and slowly turn and take that to the other side. Breathe here. Slowly release that down. Bring the arms up once again. Bring our heels in so toes are outward or lateral. Come down, bend into that wide squat. Come back up. Again, wide squat. Breathe and move. Goddess pose. This next time we come down, we're going to pause here. Pause and breathe. Tip to one side. Come back to center. And tip to the other side. Center. Star. And then we'll just bring our arms down. Roll the shoulders. Soften knees. Let's pendle the arms in front of us. We're going to go into sunflowers in just a moment. Bring the arms overhead. Gather all the sun we can. Soften the knees. Spread that sunshine to plant those flowers. Moving at your own pace. You might even move from one side, that little lunge out to the side. Just check in with the knee, make sure it doesn't go past the toes. So that is an option. Do bending both knees, coming to the center. Maybe to one side and to the other. A couple more rounds, whichever side or center you choose. Finish in your star pose. Shine like the star that you are. And then bring the hands in, heel toe the feet in. Shake it out a little bit. Let's take a tree pose, whatever expression you choose for your tree. So maybe bringing that foot right to the bottom, maybe using the toe as a kickstand. So using that above or below the knee joint and pausing. Let's shoot for about 30 seconds on each side and take the arms out. Bring the foot up and always have a piece of furniture or something there in case we lose our balance. Very easy to do. Just finding the horizon, center of your gaze. Slowly begin to release. I was falling out of that one a little early, so I'll shake that out. Shake it off. And we'll take the other side just as soon as you're ready. No rush to go into our balance poses, and no judgment or expectation either. Watching the second hand, and that's about 30 seconds since we started this side. So slowly come out of that. And know that balance changes from moment to moment, hour to hour, day to day, circumstance to circumstance. We're shaking that out. Let's come to the top of our mat to make our way back down. We're going to go into a pigeon pose, opening some more of our hips. So as we stand in our mountain pose and assess how we're feeling at this time, take a deep breath. Inhale and weave the arms overhead and come to forward fold. Hands at either side. So always that option to come from downward facing dog or all fours, or of course on our back side for that supine um, reclined pigeon. So those are just all different options here. Lifting right leg, send that knee forward. I always like to have this blanket handy just to keep that sit bone lifted, keep my hips facing forward and even. Perhaps gently pressing the toenail of that extended rear foot into the mat. Letting our opening and back bend here. And then as we're ready, soften into that resting pose, perhaps resting on a block or your cinnamon roll or your stacked fists. Very slowly. In our way back up. Right, bend that rear leg. Circle the ankle a little bit. See how that feels. The toe. And if you're in this position, make our way up to the other side. And if we're on our back sides like so, we're just going to switch to the other side. So we'll push three-legged to downward facing dog. Pedal the feet. And lift that opposite leg up. Slide that knee between the hands toward the left wrist. Same options. Again, it's not required that you have something beneath that sit bone. But if you have a tendency to roll over to one side, this just helps keep a little bit more balance in the body. So we're gazing forward, softening shoulders. Belly button is drawn in and up. We're breathing. Slowly coming forward. And finding your resting position here. Slowly making our way back up. Perhaps bending that knee, again, circling that ankle, that foot, if that feels right. And release down there. Back to downward facing dog. And then we can shift to our kneeling plank or full plank if you choose. Maybe lowering down, chest, chin, belly. Come into your low cobra. And then stack the hands, rest the head on the back of the hands, and rock your hips. Still the hips and bend the knees and crisscross at the ankles, back and forth. Extending the legs there. Slide the hands here. Maybe come up into a little bit higher cobra. Now you can have your forearms down, doing what feels best for you and your body today. Being up, soften shoulders, deep breaths. And lower down, stack the hands, palms down or up, rest the forehead and rock the hips. Still the hips. Bringing arms along our sides. Gonna finish with locust today. lengthening out from the crown of the head to the soles of the feet. Option to keep the toenails pressed into the earth, hips pressed in as we lift head, neck, and chest. Maybe lift the arms and gaze forward. Lots of work going on in the abs. Keep that belly button drawn in and up. Always the option to lift the legs if you choose. 2 more deep breaths. Bring the hands forward, rest the forehead, and rock the hips once again. Still the hips. Bring the forearms so that the elbows are kind of squeezing in gently toward the rib cage. Press those down. We're going to move back into child's pose, little counter pose for our back bends. And very slowly make your way up, bringing the legs around. Just going to take the next minute in our Shavasana. So find your relaxed position as you come back, palms facing up, maybe legs fully extended out, and just letting go right here. Take 3 deep breaths as you begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, fluttering your eyelids. And then joining me in seated again as you're ready. Gather hands to heart center in Anjali Mudra. Thank you so much for joining me for practice today. Namaste.